Okay, so today I received this nice, very nice looking Commodore 64. Um, Very clean. The keys are clean, the case is clean. Serial number is pretty high serial number, um, in the 5 millions. So interesting that it has a little sticker, not just here, but it has this little sticker. I assume it might be from the box. I'll have to take a look at the box to see if there's a sticker on the box. But anyways, so I'm told that all I know is that it doesn't work. so so I've already plugged it in, haven't turned it on. Figured that would be a great start to this video. And if you're seeing this video, it's because there was some troubleshooting done. Otherwise, if it was a simple fix, I wouldn't be posting it. So let's get this thing turned on here. Well, let's just point this to the monitor there real quick. Okay, I'll turn it on here real fast like. Okay, interesting. There's no blip on the screen whatsoever, but the light is on. So obviously it's getting at least 5 volts because that's turning the LED on. So I think we're going to have to see what, we're going to have to open this up. And the first thing we're going to do is check the voltages, check the fuse, and go from there. So let's see what we've got going on here. Okay, all the tabs are intact. So that's nice. Came out really very easily. And let's see what we've got going on here. First things first, let's check the fuse. Well, I don't hear a tone, so there we go. Let's hope that it's as simple as the fuse, and if it is, well, we'll do some other video. Maybe I can save this video somehow by showing you something else. This is a really nice, clean computer, and I hope it's just a fuse. I don't really want to open this up if I don't have to. It's pretty pristine. Yeah, fuse is blown. The real question is, why did the fuse blow? So we'll replace it. My guess is power supply probably fried the fuse, because normally if a fuse is blown, obviously something's gone wrong, and you really kind of want to know what that something that's gone wrong is, so it doesn't happen again. All right, so let's replace this fuse. Be right back. Let me pick up a fuse here. Okay, so we got a 1.5 amp 250 volt fuse that will pop in there, and let's get this thing plugged back in. Okay, let's turn this thing on. So that's what I'm getting on the screen. a loud humming sound, and yeah, I'm afraid that we're gonna have to open this up. Okay, so after turning it off and on a few times, that's what I'm getting now, an out of memory error. So we definitely have a RAM issue. So at least that helps solve a little bit of the mystery that we would otherwise have. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to take the shield off, take this thing apart, and let's get down to the RAM. What a shame. I was hoping that that I wouldn't have to do this. It's a pretty nice, pristine system that we have going on here. So. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is clean up these chips just a little tiny bit here. So I'm going to take out the SID chip first and foremost. Even though if it's fried, it's already fried. Wow, that came out with no kind of force whatsoever. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this thing on and leave it on for a few seconds and see if any of the RAM chips gets hot, to see if I can isolate the RAM chip. Otherwise we can go in with our tester and start testing some RAM, or we can do a piggyback test. So let's turn this thing on. And I'm getting the out of memory error, just so you know. Okay, so let's start checking RAM with our tester here real quick. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I want to check the SID chip. I can already tell it's probably not going to be good because just a hunch. Yeah. So that failure, though, is usually like maybe one voice. So the chip might still be okay to put back in. We'll test it again after we get the machine back to running order here. All right. So let's put this in a mode to test the RAM. Okay, so we're going to put this in circuit mode. Now it's not like this is infallible. The thing is, if there's a short in one RAM, it could be shorting a good RAM as well. So we take it for what it's worth, but we'll see if it can lead us down a path where we might be able to find a chip to piggyback. And that way we know what to unsolder. Okay. The interesting thing is that chip is passing a few times, but it did look like it failed at one. Okay, so that's looking okay. It's looking okay. There's a short in there somewhere, but this chip is still passing this test. Okay, that short worries me. See where it has that short, that 1 pin short. Because even though the RAMs are passing their tests here, so this third one here is still suspect. Alright, so this third one here, this first one, these third are suspect. So let me piggyback both of those. Normally piggyback your 2 chips doesn't work, but I don't think it's going to hurt. Let's first start with piggybacking just this one. Okay, so I piggyback both. Now I'm getting a blank screen. Nope, I'm getting an out of memory error still. Okay, so what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to first start with this guy, and then this guy, and then the multiplexer. Because having 1 pin shorted on multiple chips, sometimes the multiplexer will do that as well. Okay, so we know what we have to do. Okay, so this is how I do it. I think you've seen it in most of my videos where I've had to do this already. Nice clean way to take these shields off is just by using a little wire clipper and a lot of flux. That way if you want to put the shield back on, it's easy to do. And you're not drilling these things, grinding these things off, which I have no qualms with people doing that if they're just going to throw it away, but you never know. There we go. So I'm not going to put the shield back on. Once I take them off, that's it. But you got a nice clean shield that you can use if you really wanted to. All the tabs are still intact and everything like that. So I usually don't throw them away. I usually just put them aside. You never know. One day I might have a change of heart. So all I'm doing now is just cleaning up the soldering mess. Okay, so these are the 2 RAM chips that we're going to look at wiping out. Make sure I got these correctly situated here. Alright, so this guy and this guy. Let's start with this one here. And we'll desolder that and test that one first. Okay, so I replaced the socket and the RAM chip here. This first one that we thought was suspect, and turns out that we suspected this one and this third one, and turns out that I just turned this thing on here, yeah, and I'm still getting an out of memory error. So now let's go ahead and replace that third one. Let's socket that one up. Okay. And it's not unusual to find more than one chip, but this guy here, that chip is right here. That's the one we took out, and you see it failed. So let's get after that second one there. Okay. All right. That's the one we just took out. Yeah, so that one's a bad chip too. Okay, so those are the two suspect ones that we had when we were going through the in-circuit testing. Let's go ahead and socket this guy up here. Now we get another chip in here. All right. Let's see what happens now. Okay. And there we go. So it was those two RAM chips. There you are. So it was those two RAM chips that were causing the issue. So let's put the diag test on there and run the, see what that SID sounds like. Okay. I hear the humming, a little staticky. That's typical of these things. All right, so there we have it. Basically, I'm going to leave the SID chip in there. We saw that it produced an error, and these things happen. I hear a little tiny crack, a little tiny pop in the chip, but it's for me, it's not enough. It's not it's not $40 enough to replace the chip with an ARM SID. I wanted to be pure about it, yes, but technically I'm putting the original chip back in. It's got a little crackling sound, tiny bit. I'm sure it wouldn't pass a full SID test, but I think it's good enough for what it is. So I don't know if you can make that little tiny thumping sound when it goes and switches, you know, between the octaves there on the voices. So anyways, yeah, so let me put this back together and I'll summarize it up. This was kind of an easy one in the end. I mean, we did isolate the two chips with the tester and they were the right chips. And obviously the fuse is what, you know, caused it not to turn on, at least not the system turned on, but not to see the video. So typically, well, let me cover it in the summary. Let me put this all back together, we'll summarize it, and we'll cut this video short. All right, so stay tuned. One thing I wanted to cover before I put this away, these Hackles are, Hackle, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Great desoldering gun. I like it better than my beige one, the typical one everybody has because it's lower in cost. But this, wonderful, worth the price. I mean, it just does a fantastic job. But the thing that I wanted to give you as a piece of advice is after removing every single chip, you really should make sure that you clean the tip. Because if you don't do that, solder will clog up. These are very easy to clog up. So it'll be a real pain in the butt to try to unclog it afterwards. So always clean it. I do it after every single chip I unsolder. So this way the solder is still running in there, and yeah, it just leaves it perfectly clean afterwards. And you know, after maybe 1 or 2 boards, I clean the canister as well. So anyways, take care of your tools and they will last you for a very long time. And this is an expensive gun, so you do want to have this last you for a very, very long time. So just wanted to throw that out there. All right, stay tuned. Let's summarize this and get this thing wrapped up. Okay, so summary. What happened here, nice, beautiful, clean computer. I mean, the keys are clean. I don't have to clean this. I mean, I just got to just wipe it down a little bit with Windex, but it is really clean. Even the little rubber feet, you know, are still intact and clean and sharp. I mean, they feel great. So this was obviously put away and stayed that way. The light on the computer turned on, which means we got 5 volts, but there was no flicker on the screen. That immediately tells me to look at the 9-volt rail or the fuse. And in our case, it was the fuse. So once we replaced the fuse, we found out a memory errors, boom, immediately, you know, those are RAM. So we used our chip tester, found 2 suspect RAM chips in there, replaced those 2, and the computer came back to life. The SID chip had a little tiny glitch to it between the sound waves, very, very minuscule. Still works just fine per se, though technically has a little glitch, but it's not a $40 glitch. I don't want to replace the chip for that. So I left the original chip in here. So there you go. Other than that, I mean, this was an easy peasy one. Hopefully the next one will have a little bit more problems. That'll be a little bit more challenging. And it's why I haven't posted a lot of these videos, because they've been the same things that I've already posted in other videos. But I hadn't posted one in a while, so I thought, I just got this, so why not? Let's check it out. So there you have it. Hope you got something out of this short video. But hey, you know, like I always say, enjoy the day, live for today. Life is short. Peace out.